Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel where we discuss all things narcissism. This video is going to be 9 signs that you are dealing with a covert narcissist. Now, all narcissistic people are capable of acting in covert ways as they're looking to hide their manipulation from those around them, as they're looking to exploit people and get their own way. So one of the first signs you're dealing with a covert narcissist is that grandiose sense of self-importance. Now, when you're dealing with an overt narcissist, they might obviously talk over you, boast about themselves, talk about themselves. When you're dealing with a covert narcissist, they might look like they're listening to you, paying attention to you, when they're actually, their mind is elsewhere. Now, you can have people who are busy or who are going through things in life where you can tell them something and then all of a sudden they go, sorry, I wasn't listening. And they admit to it. A narcissistic person would not admit to it. If you called them out on not listening to you, they would just turn around and blame you and say, well, you never listen to me. You never pay attention to me. You've no idea what's going off in my life, because it's all about themselves, their grandiose sense of self-importance. They're highly sensitive to criticism. Now, we can all be sensitive to criticism, even constructive criticism. However, with a narcissistic person, they are going to seek to get one over you if you dare to criticize them. When someone criticizes a genuine person, they can take offense and take it personally and go off and sort of think, do I need to change that? Do I need to do that? Oh, and work through it. With a narcissistic person, a covert narcissistic person, if they believe you have criticized them, they're going to seek underhand ways to get back at you. They might start gossiping behind your back to turn people against you. They are going to look to smear your name because you dared to speak out about them. Or they might mock you, humiliate you in front of those around you in a way that those around you don't see what they're doing to you, but they know that they've chipped away at you. With their grandiose sense of self-importance, if things aren't going their way, they can easily sulk. Those passive aggressive sulks. And this is not because they're depressed or going through things in the sense of how a genuine person would process this. This is when you have clearly said no to them about something, so they've gone off to sulk to try and guilt trip you into changing your no into a yes to serve them. These are the kinds of people who are going to use the silent treatment against you, and not fall silent because they're not sure what to say. They're going to fall silent because you've said no to them, or because you're not living life on their terms, to try and get you to chase after them. You'll notice with a covert narcissist, when you've said no and they start sulking or falling silent, and you feel bad, you feel guilty, because that's the whole game plan, to make you feel guilty or make you feel obligated into helping them, or fearing saying no from previous reactions you've received from them. Once you change your mind and give them what they wanted, suddenly they're all happy, like nothing ever happened. Because they got their own way, they got what they wanted. They are preoccupied with fantasies of ultimate success. And when things don't go their way, they will not look into how they can improve, how they can change, what they can do for the better. They will look to find a scapegoat to blame. No one's ever had it as hard as they've had it. No one ever suffered as much as they have suffered. They gave up their youth to raise their children. They gave up their youth to have children. So they're going to claim that their children owe them something. They're going to make their children feel obligated. And in a parent-child relationship, there is always that sort of dynamic to one aspect where the child kind of is respectful towards the parent. However, the parent should still be respectful towards that child. Respect is a two-way street. A narcissistic parent will demand you give up everything to spend time with them on special occasions. Do the special occasion their way. And then they will sulk at you. They'll find something to moan about. They're looking to guilt trip you. Well, if I'm not important to you, after all I did for you. They have that belief that they are special, they are better than others. They don't do mistakes. They're perfect. Everyone else makes the mistakes. They are the most misunderstood person in the room. If you call them out on something, you didn't understand. You didn't get it. You're the one with the problem. No one has suffered quite like they have suffered. And as there is suffering in the world, and as their stories can be half truths, people do feel bad for them. Therefore, people do try to help them. Only they take advantage. They exploit that helpfulness in others. And you'll notice with a narcissistic person, no matter how much you help them, it is never enough for them. And they don't show appreciation or gratitude for somebody helping them. They just wait for that moment when someone isn't willing to help them, and then they go all out to talk badly of that person, to shame that person, to bully that person into submission. They're always going to go on about how everybody else has let them down. People can let people down in life. However, we have to be responsible for ourselves. A covert narcissist is never going to take responsibility. They're always going to look for a scapegoat to blame. But they require that excessive attention. They can be incredibly impatient. If you message them, they want you to message straight back. They say jump, you must say how high. Yeah, they're double standards. If you message them, they can ghost you for 6 months and then message you, oops, sorry, wrong number, as they go on about everything that's going well for them or the suffering that they are currently going through. They've ignored you for 6 months, but all of a sudden they need your help, so they're going to accidentally butt dial you and then moan about how bad their life is going and make you feel guilty and rush to their aid. They believe they are special. They believe they deserve that special attention. When it comes to a special occasion, they can go all out to give the grandest special occasion of all time. And it's not because they care, it's because they're expecting that eternal gratitude. They're going to use it against you to feel obligated into doing things for them. What about when I did this for you? Oh, there's never any thanks, is there? Which is their projection, because they're highly unlikely to thank you for anything you do for them. However, they demand eternal gratitude and thanks for the slightest little thing they do for you, which they only did for you to use against you. They're entitled. Their needs always come first. However, they use those passive-aggressive attacks on you. So they gaslight you. When you say no to something, and they turn around and say, oh yeah, I forgot how stubborn you were. I forgot how awkward and selfish you were. Or if you'd like to do something, oh, I forgot how demanding you were. To make you feel bad for asking them of anything. If they don't feel bad about asking you, they'll quite happily ask you. And as soon as they've made you feel bad and you change your mind again, they'll be happy again. They hold grudges against others. We are all capable of holding a grudge when we're going through a grieving process of recognising what somebody has done to us. Narcissistic people hold a grudge every time someone says no, every time someone doesn't give them their own way, every time somebody doesn't give them the attention they believe they're entitled to. They keep score in their minds and they seek to get people back to feel better within themselves. They're exploitative. However, they're exploitative with that passive aggressiveness. So they will agree to do something and then fail to do it. And then when you ask them about it, they'll go, "Oh, yeah, you forgot to remind me." They play the victim in order to exploit people. We can all have stories of our past. Narcissistic people use those stories to exploit people. They're not upfront or honest about anything or everything. They are incredibly devious and they are looking to get their own way because they lack empathy. They lack the empathy to care about other people. You'll often notice when somebody is going through something, they don't feel bad for that person. They don't wonder how they could help that person unless they can use that as leverage to look good. So they might be really, really envious of a couple. And then for some reason that couple breaks down. And the narcissist will be in there like a shot, either with the person that they want to get with or the other person to make sure that the relationship is 100% done and how amazing they are for lifting that person up. When people are suffering in the world, they accuse you of being hung up on the past, which is their projection, because they will come at you and say, "Well, that's nothing like what I had to go through." They're almost pleased. But they are pleased when they see their children going through things. They don't want to help their children out. Some may even say, "Well, now you know what it's like. Now you know how I felt." When it can be something that happened to a narcissistic parent before their child was even born. Most healthy, genuine parents do not want to see their children suffer. Most healthy, genuine parents try to stop their children from making the same mistakes that they did. And sometimes, yes, healthy, genuine parents do have to back off and let children learn from their own mistakes and be there to support them after the event. However, with a narcissistic person, they will help their children into a mistake just so they can turn around and see, "You're no better than me." That belief that they're special. They're incredibly envious of those around them. Someone in their neighbourhood might get a camper van and they're going to just go around saying, "Ooh, who'd want a tin tent like that?" They're seeking to pull things down that they haven't got, which if they haven't got, it's none of their business unless they want it for themselves, in which case some will have the money to go and purchase one for themselves. If they don't want to part with their money because they're the tightwad narcissist, so they're going to bring everything else crashing down because they're envious of what other people have. They will go on about how other people had all the luck. They might have had support and help, but they don't want to acknowledge this. So they're going to blame other people for causing their problems because other people had all the luck. Their parents themselves might have helped that child with a deposit towards a house, but they will ignore that and they will not be willing to help their own children. They'd rather plead poverty while they stash thousands in a bank. And then when they die, they will possibly ask to be buried with their money. They're very arrogant. They do not recognise their own inadequacies. However, they are very patronising and condescending, so they will gloat about other people's inadequacies, other people's mistakes, other people's flaws, faults, failings. When it comes to life, we do not know anything until we've learned. We don't just come out and start walking and talking. And even when we do, we all talk slightly differently. We are individuals. So when you don't know something and you go and approach a genuine person, they're going to make you feel comfortable and they're going to help explain it to you. When you don't know something and you speak to an arrogant person who possibly doesn't know it either, they're going to make you feel ashamed for not knowing something. They're going to pull you down in order for themselves to feel superior. They're going to make an example of you and do it in a way to get other people laughing and joking along with them. Any signs of covert narcissism that you noticed, please do add those into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continuing support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.